Buddhism, often regarded as one of the most peaceful and profound spiritual paths, offers timeless wisdom that speaks directly to the core of human existence. One of the most inspiring yet controversial teachings from the Buddha revolves around the notion that oneself is one's own refuge. At first glance, this statement may seem both empowering and daunting. It suggests that, ultimately, no one can save us but ourselves. This teaching challenges us to take full responsibility for our lives, our happiness, and our personal growth. The Buddha's insight, taking control of our lives. The Buddha's teaching begins with a simple yet powerful message. No one is coming to save you but yourself. This is not a pessimistic view of the world, but rather an invitation to cultivate self-reliance. Often in life, we find ourselves waiting for someone else to rescue us from our difficulties, whether it's a mentor, a friend, or even a divine figure. But according to the Buddha, even he himself cannot act as our savior. He explicitly states that he is not our salvator, but merely a teacher and guide. What does this mean in a practical sense? It means that we must stop looking outside of ourselves for solutions to our problems. Whether we are facing anxiety, depression, or any other form of suffering, the real work begins with us. Others may offer support or advice, but ultimately, the path to healing and enlightenment is one that we must walk alone. This concept resonates deeply with modern self-help and personal development philosophies, where individual responsibility is key. In the context of Buddhism, this teaching takes on a spiritual dimension, encouraging us to turn inward, to explore the depths of our own minds and hearts, and to cultivate the discipline needed to achieve true inner peace. The role of self-discipline in spiritual growth. One of the Buddha's central teachings is the importance of self-discipline. In Buddhism, discipline is not about strict rules or punishment, but rather about cultivating the right habits and mindset that allow us to thrive. Without discipline, it's easy to become overwhelmed by negative thoughts and emotions, which can lead to suffering. But with discipline, we can learn to manage our thoughts, control our impulses, and ultimately free ourselves from the cycle of pain and distress. Imagine, for example, someone who is struggling with chronic anxiety. Friends and family may offer well-meaning advice, "Don't worry so much," or "Just think positively." While these suggestions may be helpful, they don't address the root of the issue. The individual must develop the internal strength to face their anxiety head-on. This process might involve meditation, mindfulness practices, or simply learning to observe their thoughts without becoming attached to them. Through consistent practice and self-discipline, they can begin to unravel the patterns of thought that contribute to their anxiety and move toward a state of inner calm. The Buddha's emphasis on self-discipline also ties into the broader concept of karma. According to Buddhist teachings, our thoughts, words, and actions all have consequences, both in this life and in future lives. By cultivating positive habits and practicing self-control, we can create good karma, which will lead to more favorable outcomes in the future. Conversely, if we allow ourselves to be ruled by negative emotions like anger, jealousy, or greed, we create negative karma, which will only perpetuate our suffering. The power of thoughts, how our minds shape our reality. In Buddhism, there is a strong emphasis on the power of the mind. The Buddha taught that nothing can destroy you but your own thoughts. This idea is both profound and liberating. It suggests that, regardless of external circumstances, we have the power to shape our experience of the world through our thoughts and perceptions. Consider a scenario where two people face the same challenging situation. Let's say, the loss of a job. One person may become consumed with anger, bitterness, and despair, while the other sees the situation as an opportunity for growth and new possibilities. The external event is the same, but the way each person responds to it is drastically different. This difference comes down to their mindset. In the same way, our thoughts have the power to either heal or harm us. If we constantly dwell on negative thoughts, thinking that we are unworthy, unloved, or incapable, we are likely to experience more suffering. But if we cultivate positive thoughts, focusing on gratitude, self-compassion, and hope, we can begin to heal from our wounds and find peace within ourselves. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to take control of our minds and become aware of the thoughts that shape our reality. Through practices like meditation, we can learn to observe our thoughts without becoming attached to them. This practice of mindfulness allows us to see our thoughts for what they truly are: temporary, fleeting mental events that do not define us. With time and practice, we can learn to let go of negative thoughts and cultivate a more peaceful and harmonious state of mind. Applying the Buddha's teachings in daily life. One of the reasons Buddhism remains so relevant in the modern world is because its teachings can be applied to everyday life. The Buddha's insights are not just abstract philosophical concepts, they are practical tools for living a more fulfilling and meaningful life. For example, if we take the Buddha's teaching about self-reliance to heart, we might start by examining areas of our lives where we are overly dependent on others for validation or happiness. Are we constantly seeking approval from others? Are we waiting for someone else to fix our problems? By recognizing these patterns, we can begin to shift our focus inward and take responsibility for our own well-being. Another practical application of the Buddha's teachings is the practice of mindfulness. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by stress and distractions. But by practicing mindfulness, being fully present in the moment, and observing our thoughts without judgment, we can create a sense of inner calm and clarity. This practice can help us navigate difficult situations with greater ease and resilience. Finally, the Buddha's emphasis on self-discipline can inspire us to create positive habits that support our spiritual growth. Whether it's setting aside time each day for meditation, committing to acts of kindness, or simply being more mindful of our thoughts and actions, these small daily practices can have a profound impact on our overall well-being. How Buddhism can transform our lives. As I reflect on the Buddha's teachings, I am struck by the depth of wisdom contained within them. In a world where we are often bombarded with messages of quick fixes and external solutions, the Buddha's message stands as a powerful reminder that true happiness and peace can only be found within. It challenges us to take full responsibility for our lives and to cultivate the self-discipline and mindfulness needed to overcome our struggles. At the same time, the Buddha's teachings offer a message of hope. They remind us that, no matter how difficult our circumstances may be, we have the power to change our thoughts, our actions, and ultimately our destiny. By embracing the principles of self-reliance, mindfulness, and self-discipline, we can free ourselves from the cycle of suffering and create a life of peace, happiness, and fulfillment. The timeless wisdom of the Buddha. In conclusion, the Buddha's statement that oneself is one's own refuge is both a profound and empowering teaching. It challenges us to take control of our lives, to stop waiting for others to save us, and to cultivate the discipline and mindfulness needed to find true inner peace. While the path may be difficult, the rewards are immeasurable. Through self-reliance, self-discipline, and the power of our own thoughts, we have the ability to transform our lives and achieve lasting happiness. As we navigate the challenges of life, we can take comfort in the Buddha's wisdom, knowing that we have within us all the tools we need to overcome our struggles and find peace. No one can walk the path for us, but with determination and self-awareness, we can find the strength to walk it on our own.